You know, when you're fishing on a new body of water, it's always tough to decide what technique I want to fish, and especially where I want to fish on the system. In a system like this, to me, when I come out here, the whole thing looked similar. There is flooded timber all over this system. Now, of course, we're in South Dakota, and one thing that South Dakota has is wind, and a lot of it. It's always windy out here. And what I've done is paid attention to these flooded timber areas, because the flooded timber areas, especially I've fished out here in the past, and I know walleyes like that type of cover. But what I'm looking for is where that wind is blowing into. This system is chocked full of bait. In fact, a lot of the bait in this system is that freshwater shrimp. You can see it all over the graph pretty much no matter where you go. But what the wind does to that bait is it will actually push that bait into the flooded timber. So fish the upwind sides of that cover, because you know the bait's being pushed in there and the walleyes don't have to go anywhere to feed. Basically, what I'm looking for then is the different areas that have some type of structure elements to them. The flooded timber sometimes will come out on a ledge that stays a little bit shallower, and I'm typically looking for those same type of areas that I would be looking for in a normal inland lake or even in a river system. So structure areas on any new body of water that has wind blowing into them is always a great choice for the first few spots that you're going to want to look at going to catch some fish.
A consistent wind direction correlating with bait fish location is often something you hear Pete Mena discuss when finding starting areas to explore for muskie fishing, but it's not something you really hear a lot about for walleyes, which is really what makes this South Dakota bite unique. It's all about keeping it simple on the pattern end and putting the focus more in choosing the right gear to pick apart the timber efficiently.
Just right on the edge of the trees too, right as I was pulling it off.
Good job.
Just make sure you're packing a trolling motor and battery setup that has enough thrust and power management to handle the constant push from the wind.
Got some shoulders to it.
Yeah, it feels all right.
So you can stay out longer safely.
Get him, Joe.
Oh, this is fun, man.
Ooh, good fish.
There we go. All right. Not the longest thing in the world, but a fatty. Man, and they attack it, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It's amazing how they just punch that bait. That fish has got some girth.
Yeah, it does. Tangled up in the net here a little bit. Oh, there we go. We got him.
He just punched it, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like they push it forward, you know. Yep. They hit it so hard they're pushing it forward.
All of a sudden your line just goes slack.
Not real long, but healthy. Man, it hit like an 8-pounder, I'll tell you that much.
Nice.
It is so much fun. Here you go, buddy.
Yeah, tough to beat it.
Oh yeah.
Fishing information from real fishing experts. Presented by Amsoil.
There's something new coming out at Bass Pro Shops this spring for muskie anglers that I'm pretty excited about, and it's the new Muskie Angler Series rods. And the great thing about it, they're stronger and lighter. It's because of a fiber called Technora. It's one of the strongest fibers in the world, which allows that to happen. And again, it's a great combination. You've got aluminum oxide guides. You've got carbide tip on the tip top of this thing. And you've got a new design in the rod with a split handle grip and this rubberized cork handle. It fits the hand great in a real extreme wet, cold weather. It just gives you a better grip on that rod, and that's extremely important when you're doing figure eights at boat side or just in general. Obviously, you want to have a great grip on that rod. The other thing is you've got a large size range for all the different applications, different actions, and also depending on what type of boat you fish out of. Myself, I like the longer rods. I mainly use the 8-foot to 9-foot, probably 8-6 and 9-foot the most, where you really need to be able to get down close to the water and do those figure eights without bending over all the way. But you start all the way at 6'6". So if you're fishing out of a smaller boat where you're a lot closer to the water, you're probably going to want a rod like that. You've got this whole range of rods throughout the size range and different actions that you need. And you've also got the trolling rods that work great for planer boards and down rods as well. So this is a great new series of rods that you want to look for at Bass Pro Shops.